Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you're learning Spanish, have you ever just hit a wall with object pronouns? You know, those little words that seem to float around and have a mind of their own? Well, today, we're going to clear all that up. We're going to demystify them with one single powerful rule that's going to change how you look at Spanish sentences forever. I mean, you've been there, right? You look at a Spanish sentence like te lo compré, and you're just thinking, wait, why are all those little words crammed in front of the verb? It can honestly feel like the entire language is working in reverse, but I promise you, you are not alone in feeling that way. And trust me, that feeling is pretty much universal for anyone learning the language. But here's the good news. It's not chaos. There's actually a system behind it all, and it's surprisingly simple. Once you see it, it's all going to click into place. Okay, let's get right into it. The key that unlocks this entire puzzle is something we're going to call the PTV rule. That stands for person, thing, verb. This simple little rule is the foundation for pretty much everything else, so let's break it down.
So what this really means is you've got this fixed order, almost like a recipe. First, you say the person who's receiving the action. Then you say the thing that the action is happening to. And only then, at the very end, do you get to the action itself, the verb. Person, thing, verb.
Let's actually build a sentence backwards to really see how this works. We'll start at the end with our verb, compré. I bought. Simple enough. Now let's add the thing. What did I buy? I bought it. Lo compré. And finally, let's add the person it's for. Who did I buy it for? For you. Te lo compré. See? Person, thing, verb. It just works.
And hey, if you're ever worried you'll forget this order, I've got a super simple trick for you. Just think of the alphabet. P comes before T, and T comes before V. Person, thing, verb. It's such a handy little way to keep it all straight in your head.
Okay, so we've got the order down, right? Person, thing, verb. Easy. Now let's get a little more specific and talk about that middle part, the thing. The pronoun you choose for the thing, what we call the direct object, isn't random at all. It has to match the noun it's replacing. This is a non-negotiable part of Spanish. The thing pronoun absolutely has to match the gender and the number of the noun you're talking about. So if you've got a masculine singular noun like el libro, the book, it becomes lo. If you've got a feminine plural noun like las llaves, the keys, it becomes las. Let's put this into practice. Imagine someone asks if you want an apple, la manzana. You might say, sure, I'll wash it for you. In Spanish, that would be te la lavo. We have to use la because manzana is feminine and singular.
And it works exactly the same way for plurals. Let's say you bought some presents, los regalos. You'd tell your friend, te los compré, I bought them for you. We use los because regalos is masculine and plural. Starting to see the pattern? It's all about that matchup.
All right, you're doing great. Now we've got to talk about the one big exception, the thing that trips up pretty much every single Spanish learner out there. It looks weird at first, but the rule behind it is actually super straightforward. I like to call it the combo breaker. Here's the deal. You simply cannot say lay low or les low in Spanish. It just doesn't happen. The two L sounds bumping up against each other is considered awkward, so the language has a built-in fix to avoid it. It's basically a forbidden combination. So what's the fix? Well, it's actually really simple. Anytime you have a situation where you'd normally say lay or les right before lo, la, los, or los, that first pronoun, the lay or les, automatically switches to say. That's it. That's the whole rule. For example, if you wanted to say, I showed the photos to them, your pronouns would be les for to them and las for the photos. Now, instead of that clunky les las enseñé, it just smooths right out to become se las enseñé. Sounds so much better, right? Okay, last piece of the puzzle. Let's look at a pretty cool situation where the PTV rule actually gets a little more flexible. This happens whenever you have two verbs working together in a phrase, like when you say, I am going to do something. So when you have a structure like I'm going to lend, you actually get a choice. Option 1, you can take your pronouns still in that PTV order and attach them to the very end of the second verb, making one big word like prestártelo. Or option 2, you can take those same pronouns and just put them right before the first verb. Te lo voy a prestar. And here is the absolute best part. Both of those options are 100% correct, and they mean the exact same thing. There is no hidden meaning, no subtle difference in nuance, so you literally can't mess this up. Just use whichever one feels more natural to say. So, let's do a quick recap of the awesome tools you now have for Spanish object pronouns.
First, you've got the core PTV rule to always keep your sentences in the right order. Second, you know you have to match your thing pronoun to its noun. Third, you know how to break that forbidden lay-low combo by switching it to say. And finally, you know you have some flexibility when you've got two verbs together.
See, once you pull back the curtain, what seemed like a total mess of words is actually a predictable, manageable pattern. Now, of course, it takes a little practice to make it second nature, but the logic is there. So the only real question left is, what new sentences are you going to build?